Hello there everybody, I'm Darryl Griffiths. Welcome to my latest video film review. I hope you've all been very well as we build into the final weeks of 2016 and various cinematic offerings still to be seen by us all. A certain Star Wars Rogue One next week, looming large as well, to name one of them. And today I'll be reviewing a much anticipated adaptation of a beloved novel made by Patrick Ness, and it's not out officially until New Year's Day in the UK, but I had the pleasure of seeing it at the Odeon Screen Unseen screening this past Monday as I'm putting this out for you guys, and it is A Monster Calls. It is in the directorial hands of J.A Bayona, or in long form Juan Antonio Bayona, and he's provided us with the likes of The Impossible, the tsunami drama, starring Naomi Watts, Hugh McGregor, and a certain Tom Holland, who is the new Spider-Man, of course, and the Spanish horror The Orphanage. Now, A Monster Calls, the narrative, it's not a far cry from what Bayona's tackled previously, but it has a very fantastical and heart-wrenchingly beautiful coming-of-age story at its core. And it's a story that I just didn't anticipate weeks ago that it would have this much of an impact that it did. So the story of A Monster Calls, it deals with Lewis MacDougall's Connor, who is a 12-year-old who is full of pent-up anger and frustration and self-pity and sort of self-loathing in a way. And he's getting bullied at school very harshly. And he's very introverted and people give him very pitiful looks left, right and centre. And he's dealing with his mother's illness, played by Felicity Jones, back at home. And there's such a beautifully crafted relationship between the two of them in the film. But Connor's sort of oblivious to the fact that his mum's condition is worsening. And Sigourney Weaver's grandmother figure in the film, she's very neat and tidy, she doesn't like things being touched, and she has a very fractured relationship with Connor. She feels that he's very much at a distance from her and sort of tiptoes around her feelings, and it draws a lot of conflict between the two as they have this common ground in trying to help the mother and daughter figure in Felicity Jones' mom. And eventually, Connor is disturbed, if you like, by a wonderfully crafted and brought to life creature, simply called the Monster, voiced by Liam Neeson. And he comes to his bedroom every night at 12:07, and Connor can't quite get to grips of why he's here and why he's disturbing him. It's such an ungodly hour. And he's trying to bring a sense of calm and peace to him at a time of need. And that's the crux of the film. A Monster Calls had me sobbing. It really did. I absolutely was overwhelmed by its raw and resonant themes and emotion. As a visual fantastical feast, it is absolutely sublime. Bayona, with this watercolour palette, which is teased in the character or actor credits in the UK trailer, which is one of the best trailers I've seen this year, personally, with the M83 music booming away. It's just a gorgeously realised film with the water palettes effects of the fables that Liam Neeson's monster tells to Connor, and there's such a richness and a vibrancy and texture to how these mythical tales are brought to life on screen, and it's absolutely gorgeous. And the motion capture of Liam Neeson's monster, this is such a beautiful beast that is such twisted branches, and there's such character and personality that it doesn't have to be uttered through verbally. It's just a wonderfully crafted creature, and it's so believable in such grounded confines. It's fantastic and has such a gothic horror quality to it. The performances, MacDougall's Connor, I mean, he bears the brunt of the emotional weight that he has to carry on his little shoulders. And at the age of 14, I believe MacDougall is, it's a beautifully nuanced and so deeply affecting performance. As we have his characters go through this coming-of-age trajectory for all its heart-wrenching, well, I say qualities, but it's so tough to watch. And the visual depictions of how, when you're told such heartbreaking news, and you feel like your world's crumbling, and you feel like you're tumbling into a pit of despair and you're never going to get out of it. And the way it's depicted and the way it's brought to life through Connor, it's just incredible, and it will knock you for six. And it hit home so hard for me on a personal level right now. And it's just an incredible central performance from you. Felicity Jones has such a beautiful, wonderful fragility, which I don't think you've seen much of in her previous roles, and it really comes to the fore as this maternal figure who's just trying to comfort her son at such a difficult time. Sigourney Weaver's grandmother, the way she progresses along in the film, she's just so pent up as well, like Connor. They have so much in common, but they don't realise it, and it's so heartbreaking to witness. And you know that there's more in common between them as they try and, as she's so neat and Connor's just lashing out all the time, and it's such a wonderful juxtaposition that is formed between the two and the dynamic that they have. Toby Kebbell's dad, who comes from America, he doesn't quite know how to interact with Connor. Again, he's just trying to be a calming influence, and again, being so far away, and Connor doesn't realise how much of an effect it could have in terms of his dad's relationship with him as well, and whether he would have to move to America or move to with his grandmother if anything happened to his mom. And it's just wonderfully presented. And of course, Liam Neeson's monster. He's one of those actors that you're hanging off every word he says anyway. He can pretty much sell anything, Liam Neeson, and his monster is just a beautiful performance. His beaming eyes, that just so richness, and there's a light and shade to him as he tries to comfort Connor. I could go on about A Monster Calls. I just think it's a wonderful piece of work. It's a gorgeous, masterful adaptation of the Patrick Ness novel. I can only thank Patrick Ness for creating a beautiful source material in the first place. Bayona, I can only salute you. You really hit me hard with this. I was literally sobbing during the film, and I was so overwhelmed by it. And for all its heart-wrenching qualities and sequences within the film, it's sort of hopeful as well. And I think in a time of need, when you need that comfort, and Liam Neeson's monster sort of representing this family tree, and how sometimes these branches can be twisted, and sometimes we don't always get along, but it's always there. We're always still attached in some way. And I think the way the film deals with that is just incredible. And I can only recommend A Monster Calls just wholeheartedly. Just go see A Monster Calls. I hope it doesn't get overshadowed on New Year's Day by Martin Scorsese's Silence, which I'm looking forward to. But A Monster Calls is just an incredible, heart-wrenchingly beautiful piece of work in both aesthetic and as a pure, grounded story that will resonate across the board. A Monster Calls, already it's set the bar very high for 2017, so go out and see it when it comes out on New Year's Day. That is a wrap on my review of A Monster Calls. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope that I'm not too introverted right now as I'm putting this out. It's a story that really did hit home pretty hard recently, but I'm not going to indulge. So you can subscribe to my YouTube channel below. That'll mean a great deal right now. Of course, the likes of Star Wars Rogue One and Passengers with Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence are looming large. I'll have video reviews for those as well very soon, and I'm possibly thinking about doing a best of year list in video format as well, so I hope you can tune in for those. But I've been Darryl Griffiths. I hope you've enjoyed this video review. Take care, and I'll speak to you soon, guys. Thank you very much for watching. See you later.